Am I the asshole for refusing to change my last name? My mother passed away before I was 10. My uncle, mother's eldest brother, took me in and raised me because my father by then had already started a new life and a new family. My uncle treated me very well, though I'm not sure if my aunt feels the same about me as he did. My uncle and aunt had only one son who's around my age, and what he had, I had too. For example, if my uncle got my cousin a laptop, he would get me the same one. My uncle even got me a car for my 18th birthday. My cousin also treated me just like his own brother. Needless to say, I am very grateful to have them in my life. Everything I have and who I am is owed to them. However, my relationship with my uncle has hit a slight snag recently. In my culture, it's usually the parents who will help with purchasing a home for their sons when they get married. The reason is because people in my culture tend to marry young, but most of the time we would not have worked long enough to save up for a house. For a man not to have a marital home is considered a disadvantage, and the woman's family may not accept the proposed union. So a man having a marital home is very important. Listen, no one is holding a gun to your head saying you have to get married. And if you want a house, that's on you. I don't like where this is going. In my case, because my mother had passed away and my father is an absent parent, my uncle and aunt are my de facto parents. Indeed, my uncle said he would buy me a marital home. However, he has set a condition for that I have to change my last name to his. Oh, so he's gonna buy you a house. Last names are a big deal in my culture, so this is not something that is taken lightly. My uncle said that since he's been like a father to me rather than my own father, and also as a remembrance to my mother, I should change my last name to his. So basically, no change in last name equals no marital home. I mean, shit, if I'm buying you a home, I feel like you can put a condition on that. I'm just saying. I expressed to him that this is an unfair demand because, like I said, last names are a huge deal in my culture and a change could trigger uncomfortable questions from people. But my uncle insisted that if I refused to change my last name, I would have to buy the marital home on my own, which is impossible because I'm a fresh grad and it could take me years to even save up for the down payment. Sucks to suck. How can you get mad at him when you're literally saying it's the parents' job, right? And they're like your parents, but make it official then if they're like your parents. If you don't want to do it under their terms, don't do it. This could seriously set me back in terms of a romantic relationship and future marriage. This is so. That's not, it sucks. It's your problem. Welcome to life, buddy. Life isn't fair. Because of our disagreement, things between my uncle and I have become awkward. So far, my aunt and cousin have not said anything to me, but a group of close friends whom I have confided to told me that I'm the asshole. I'm surprised by their reaction because other than this, I had never gone against my uncle. I'm also very thankful to my uncle and what he had done for me, and I would gladly take up the responsibility alongside my cousin to take care of him in his old age. It is just that I really don't think I should be forced into making a fundamental identity change and be punished for not doing it. So, am I the asshole?
Am I in the wrong for liquidating my daughter's college fund to keep our dream house? I, 50 female, lost my husband 4 years ago. I also have a 16-year-old daughter. My late husband left me everything and told me to trust his lawyer. My husband had worked for 20 years as a doctor and did some minor investing, so I inherited over 7 figures. A year later, I decided to list our home of 12 years and received an offer too good to refuse. With the inheritance as well as the influx of cash from selling the house, I decided to move my daughter and I to Malibu because we always dreamed of a home next to the beach, but my husband was exceptionally tight-fisted and called homes their money pits. We found a beautiful home by the sea. I never personally handled anything regarding buying a home before, so I didn't anticipate all the extra costs beyond the sticker price. But my daughter was so excited, so I decided to go for it. My late husband's lawyer was furious at my decision, so I decided to stop taking his calls. I ended up signing with a money manager who said that we'd be passively earning 90% of what surgeons earn per year. But the money manager ended up tanking a lot of our investments. I took the dwindling money out and made my own investments, which made it worse, and long story short, because of all of that, I only have around $35,000 available to me now. Not to mention our debts. With the amount available to me, I'm looking at only being able to pay 1 month of mortgage and upkeep, and then I'm basically out of luck until my business gets clients. However, the place where we do have a significant amount of money is the fund that my husband started for our daughter. With the money there, I could prevent our credit cards from being shut down and not have to worry about the mortgage for many, many months. So I ended up liquidating my daughter's college fund. I told her about it today, and she was furious and said that she can't believe all of her dad's work is gone. She also said that she won't be supporting me for retirement. So, am I in the wrong for not adopting my dying best friend's dog and buying a puppy from a breeder instead? My best friend is dying of cancer. He could pass away any moment. Today, I was visiting and showed him a picture of a German Shepherd puppy I just put a security deposit on. It will be ready to take home in 4 weeks. I've always wanted a German Shepherd puppy, so I was excited to show him the pictures, and I thought that maybe the pictures would bring him at least a moment of joy, even if the moment was fleeting. But instead of sharing my excitement, things became awkward. After a few minutes of awkwardness, I asked him what was wrong. I was blindsided by his response. He said that his cousin, who was supposed to take his 2-year-old pug named Horace, could no longer take him, and I could save a lot of money by taking his dog. I looked over at Horace, and he looked back at me. Well, he tried to look at me, but he's got a wandering eye that pretty much is always looking towards the ceiling. I could feel his glare with his good eye, though. This is not me being an a-hole, but this is simply knowing Horace. He's a little shit, and on top of that, he shits in the house and tears stuff up. He's always yapping. He's He's always wanting something. He doesn't even know what he wants. He literally just wants to want something nonstop. He was never properly trained. Overall, I'm not a fan of the pug dog breed. Their faces look like it's been hit with a shovel. They're always gasping for air with their eyes bulged out as if they were stranded without a space helmet in the Martian atmosphere. I told my friend, no thank you, but I'll try to help you find him a good home. He said, really? Are you freaking kidding me? You've known Horace since he was a puppy. I said, I know, that's why I don't want him. He's just not a good dog. That's when my friend said, wow, you're such an a-hole.
Am I the asshole for not wanting to be driven around by women, including my girlfriend? When I, 27 male, was a kid, I had a traumatic experience and was in a car accident. It was in the school bus, which was being driven by a lady, and since then I've had a phobia of being a passenger in a vehicle being driven by a woman. My mom did not drive, and even when my older sister learned how to drive, I refused to drive with her even though my other siblings did. I do have my license, but not a car, and when I take public transit, I also take the next bus if a woman is driving. And this is a phobia, and I do not think women should not drive or anything. Am I the asshole for not wanting to be driven around by women, including my girlfriend? This is a phobia, and I do not think women should not drive. Recently, my girlfriend and I moved in together, and she has a car. She's pretty upset with me as whenever we go out, I insist on driving her car. She says it feels like I'm a misogynist when it's just a phobia. I said I'd be okay taking public transportation and she could drive her car and we could travel separate, but she thinks that's not a solution and I should get over it. So I just really need to know, am I wrong? It's not like I'm telling her she can't drive, and I apply this rule to everyone. I also told her she was free to ask my parents about my past. Am I the asshole for asking my brother to pay $3,000 for my engagement ring? I decided to host a family dinner over the weekend, and my brother brought my nephews 4 and 8 over as well. I used to wear my engagement ring all the time, but lately I keep it in my walk-in closet and wear it for special occasions. While I was cleaning the dinner table, my nephews went to go play while the adults were still in the outdoor patio area. Mind you, my brother was not supervising his kids. So during this time, my nephews went into the master bedroom with no one knowing and started playing with everything, including my engagement ring. When we eventually came to look for them, they panicked because they knew they weren't supposed to be upstairs, so they ran into the master bathroom and flushed my ring. Am I the asshole for asking my brother to pay $3,000 for my engagement ring? You heard me right, my brother's kids flushed my engagement ring. We called a plumber in case it was somehow in the U-trap of the toilet and not actually gone, but nope. Unfortunately, it was gone for good. We still had the original receipt, so I called my brother and emailed him a scanned copy as proof of the cost. I asked him to reimburse me for the ring my nephew flushed, and immediately he started calling me an a-hole because we're family and he was just a child. So he's refused to repay the cost of my ring, and I told him I'll be taking him to court for this, and now my entire family is blowing up my phone. Am I wrong?
Am I the asshole for not letting my daughter choose the theme to her birthday party? I, 29, am the mother of my daughter, Kira. She just turned 6 this past weekend, and we had a party with her extended family and friends. Unfortunately, the party was less than her expectations, and she hasn't shut up about it, and I'm afraid I might have done something wrong. I mean, that's a little mean. A few weeks ago, before buying themed invitations and decorations, I asked my daughter what she wanted the party's theme to be so that I could buy the themed invitations and decorations. She said she wanted an Isabella-themed party, the name of a minor character in the recent Disney film Encanto. I tried to dissuade her from this idea for 2 reasons. Reason 1, which I told her, is that there probably wouldn't be many decorations to buy that centered around the character. Reason 2, which I did not tell her, is that I would have intense secondhand embarrassment and surely feel judged by my family who definitely wouldn't be familiar with such an obscure and uncomfortable recent Disney installment. I'm sorry, is it your family's birthday party or your daughter's? Like, why do you care what your family thinks about what her theme of her party is? Half the time, my parents don't know what my nephew's and niece's birthday party theme is. They just see like a big blue hedgehog. They're like, what the hell is this? I'm like, oh yeah, it's called Sonic. They don't know this stuff. They don't care as long as the kid is happy. Secondhand embarrassment. Like, you suck it up and you do it for your kid. Like, huh? Ultimately, Kira was completely unhappy with her Disney party, and the guests weren't much happier. Kira's school friend's mom confronted me after asking my daughter why she had been crying the whole time, and in short, gave me hell. My mother offered to throw a party at her own house the next day, and she'd buy every Isabella thing she could find at the store, on the condition that she bring my daughter and I don't show up at all. But I declined and kind of faked a seizure to avoid any further attacks because I was just completely exhausted. Everyone left while my daughter's face was covered in cake and tears, but mostly anger. I was just trying to do the best for both my daughter and myself, but everyone ended up disappointed in me. So, am I the asshole?
Story time about how my crush sent my nudes to my family and my friends. Disclaimers are not my story time, is not on Instagram. I'm 17 going on 18. I've had the same high school crush since I started high school. He's the most popular boy in school. He's definitely a player. He gets all the girls, but then he pretends to be all innocent and pure. My problem was that I never realized how evil he was. Evil incarnate, like the devil. A little backstory. When I finally grew out of my awkward stage, boys started noticing me more, including the devil. He started trying to sit next to me every single day. At first, I loved this. I mean, hello, he was my crush for 4 years. Slowly but surely, he started talking to me and finally asked me for nudes. Part 2 is up. Story time about how my crush sent my nudes to my family and my friends. Disclaimers, not my story time, send me on Instagram. After giving me the tiniest bit of attention, he asked me for nudes. And what did I do? You better believe I sent them to him like the dumbass I am. I literally got up to go to the bathroom in school and took some nudes. And I sent them to him. Then he led me on for about 2 weeks. He made me believe that he liked me and we started texting every day. He even snuck into my room one night and made out with me for like 2 hours. I thought he was like in love with me or something. Then one day I woke up to a horrible message. My friend telling me that my nudes had been leaked. Part 3 is up. Story time about how my crush sent my nudes to my family and my friends. Disclaimers not my story time, is that me on Instagram. I woke up to a message from my bestie telling me that someone had sent her my nudes. My stomach instantly dropped and I ran to the bathroom. 2 minutes later, my mom comes running in yelling at me. And my dad right behind her. They start banging on the door while I have diarrhea. They had also received the nudes. Can you imagine being in my place? I was grounded until graduation. My parents even took my phone and computer away from me. I finally got them back 2 days ago. But luckily, my crush was expelled and all his friends left him. I mean, what he did was pretty messed up. My parents are trying to sue his parents because I'm underage. But I still have a crush on him, you guys. I want to text him so bad. What do I do?